Is it also a bit that was like maybe the end of your youth, your child years, and then
I suppose so. Yeah,
it was starting as an adult new career or something.
Yeah, well, I guess it was like a new beginning to make a first record again, because you don't get to make many first records. But this felt like, I guess it was my introduction to the rest of the world, and it was really good to have had all that experience and toured for years and learnt a lot about what it is to be in a band and learning about actually what you appreciate in music. It's a really hard life, and it's not really like as glamorous as maybe some people might think. And I think having those experiences makes you realise that you've got to do it for the love of it, and that you've got to be happy and you've got to enjoy it. And if you base all your decisions on what seems like it is going to be fun or enjoyable, then it's the best job in the world.
Okay, so have you ever doubted if you wanted to be a musician?
Yeah, I think I've probably had my moments, but I think even if I decided not to have a career in music, I'm sort of driven to do it anyway. I just love making music, and playing with other people is fantastic, and playing on your own in solitude is fun too. So yeah.
If you had been Joe the Plumber, you still would have a band or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also wondering. You live in London, in Australia, New Zealand, toured all over the world. Is there a place that you feel at home?
Definitely New Zealand. I mean, that's where I've spent most of my youth and childhood, and I'm about to go back there for Christmas and stay for probably 6 months or so. And I guess in some ways I feel like I'm moving back to New Zealand now. I spend so much time touring and so much time in the rest of the world that I think now I want to base myself out of New Zealand, because when I do get time off, it's nice to go where the air is clean, and I know I've got my friends and family and the beach, and it's kind of the best place to recharge the batteries.
Yeah, but if you've been there too long, you have to go
away
you get itchy
again. Feet. Yeah, I think as well. Like it's very isolated, and it's you need to get out of the place to learn how to appreciate it when you go home. So yeah, it's good to get away.
Yeah. Okay. About your album. You said you wrote it in a period that after a relationship, a broken relationship. Can you say that that's the overall theme on the album, or?
It kind of is by default. I mean, I didn't write the record thinking, oh, woe is me, I'm so heartbroken. It just, I guess the songs, a lot of them ended up being inspired by that, or somewhat like therapeutic or something. Like writing it was a way of understanding, learning from it and stuff. And so I guess I feel like the songs are more so about just, like you say before, like growing up and sort of and shaking off the past and learning from your experiences.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And why is it called I'll Be Lightning?
Well, the song I'll Be Lightning was the last song I wrote for the record, and it kind of, at the time, I wrote it back in New Zealand just when I started recording it, and it sort of seemed to, the atmosphere of the song, as well as what me and my friend Conan were singing about, seemed to sort of sum up everything that was happening right then. And it was kind of like, I guess, a breath of fresh air, because I was back in New Zealand and it was summertime, and it just sort of felt like, I don't know, a full stop. And I'm not sure what relevance that has to lightning, but I don't know, it made sense to me at the time.
Okay, so it's not a literal meaning, it's just,
no,
it
I
makes
guess
sense.
I guess it does have a literal meaning in the sense of how fast lightning is, and sometimes I can feel my brain is maybe going a bit too fast, and that's in some ways what the song is kind of talking about in some places. But it's a bit of an ambiguous song, really. I wrote it it's the only song I wrote with someone else on the record, like the lyrics and stuff, so it was kind of nice to have something that wasn't as personal, like just me, and not so personal, and it was, I don't know, it was just I feel like I can listen to that song in a different way than I'd listen to the other ones.